It's another 2025 Winter Classic Invitational Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. And today we're doing a follow-up interview with the team from Channel Islands. That is it's California State University, Channel Islands, officially. And this is Team baraCUDA's. How you doing today?
Well,
Doing
Dale.
good.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a good way to spend a little bit of a Saturday afternoon, right? What
Exactly.
fun. Um, let's see. And you don't know all of your scores yet. You want to start? Should we talk about that first? Get a feel for how you're doing?
Yeah, we can start off
okay,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay. Well, Lynn Pack and HPCG, you guys came out fifth and fourth on those respectively. You came out of that with a nice fourth place score. The crash course exam, you were sixth in that, but the people ahead of you did a little worse. So you came out third after that,
Okay.
which is pretty good. And actually, let me ask you this. I've had some other teams I've talked to on these second round follow-ups, and one of them said that crash course exam should stay in and should be the first event in the competition before you get on any machines. What do you think?
I like that.
Um, that
Yeah.
that will work. Even though I would recommend you allocate some additional resource so that like hand-on learning experience.
Mm,
So other than like
that
here,
will happen. That
you
was,
would want that at the same time too.
yep. That that everybody who comes in next year's students will have to get that access ID, and then I can put them up so where they can use Bridges 2 just like they used in the course. And those
Ah,
those exercises still exist and stuff. So
lucky them.
I think that'd be a good thing. Okay, good. Another voice of this of oh, wait a minute, hold on. baraCUDA. Damn it, I had nautical processing selected. Hold on.
I think we took the crash course exam twice, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the first time we tried to submit it, our results didn't
Yeah.
get submitted.
And
Yeah.
I had to jigger it for you.
Hmm.
You guys actually, that was Nautical that did that. You guys came out fourth after the exam. Still not bad. You're holding fourth. Oak Ridge. Fun, huh? That was exciting.
It
First
was
shot at quantum computing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
lesson.
Lessons learned. Yes. But that was tough for everybody. That was a difficult one. You guys pulled in ninth, which I still think is pretty good given how difficult that was, and it pulled your post Oak Ridge ranking down to eighth. Still good. AWS, that got you up to seventh. How'd you guys do that? How'd you go through the process of figuring out what nodes to use and things? That was the real point of it, was to figure out which instances would give you the best performance.
Is it is it
Well,
like English right now? Oh,
That was the wharf one, the weather forecasting.
Simulation.
Yeah.
okay. That
Well,
AWS.
funnily, we didn't actually. I think all we submitted was the run that they gave us
You
as the example.
but you used that, yeah, and that was the right data set to use, but you
Yeah.
used that same node that they gave you
We used the
to
same
just,
node that they gave us in the example. It was like an HPC
yeah.
A or something.
Okay. Okay.
But we
And
tried a couple
You
things
could
that
have,
just didn't get to completion. Like,
yeah.
I was trying to get
we
the
try a
WR
couple
program to
too.
compile
Yes.
on ARM, but having
Okay.
some trouble with I think
So
is the
you,
visualization
Eh,
tool wouldn't actually compile on ARM, which kind of
so
sucked.
with
yeah,
S.
no, yeah.
Um,
So you tried like an ARM
yeah.
instance up
Yeah,
on
we tried
AWS?
some ARM
We
instances.
we ran
Why
into
that?
dependency issues.
Yeah, it was dependency issues, but
Yeah.
I thought it might work out well because ARM processors usually have a lower like TDP, like they have a lower power draw, so I figured that it'd probably be cheaper.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah,
That was my
yeah,
reasoning at least.
yeah.
I thought it
No,
was
I
worth a
understand. I
try.
gotcha. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then uh,
Go
and
ahead.
then after this discussion with Devin and Kieran and the team, we also figure out another way for us to do is to use to instead of on demand, we're switching to
Mm,
spot
mm,
instance. So
Yeah.
basically, we queue up, would significantly reduce the cost.
yes. Yep. That was a good strategy. And that worked out for some teams, but they were using different node types than you were. And
Well, for the spot instances, we weren't trying ARM, but I
oh,
think we
yeah.
just didn't have enough time in the end to submit a run with the spot instances.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if it was allowed in the competition either. I tried emailing the
Evan?
yeah, I
Yeah.
tried emailing Evan, but I didn't get a
Okay.
response. So
No, and the spot instances were okay because he said
okay,
that in the opening briefing. So
I
so
see.
that was fair enough. As long as it didn't go over your core allowance,
I see. Yeah.
then it was fine. It was fine. So you are at seventh, and you got some people within reach of you too, because it's really rare for teams not to stumble somewhere in these things. But good job. So yeah, and you turned in something for everything, which is great and also rare. So let's go around. What did you guys as individuals, what'd you get out of this ordeal? Because it's been a long time since January 13th. And let's start, I don't know. Start with you, Kieran.
Yeah. I feel like I've gotten quite a bit out of this because going into this, I had never worked with Linux. My actual experience with
Oh,
like
that's right.
HPC was like very minimal. So just through like going through all this and seeing like different ways to solve problems on this type of scale has just been like pretty opening to career paths as well as just like
Oh,
looking
good.
at things differently in terms of computing in general. Because it's just like I found it to be like pretty fascinating.
Oh, good. Good. And the Linux will absolutely help.
Yeah.
And the performance stuff will absolutely help. 'Cause I mean, all of the stuff that you're going to be doing, there's going to be some sort of AI component
Hmm.
in just about anything you do in computer science. And that's really a subset of HPC. So
Yeah,
should help out that way. Beck, let's
definitely.
go to you.
I'm learning a lot too. Even though I kind of like have a bit of experience with HPC before
Yeah.
because I'm part the in the SEC team. Um, but yeah, this thing is more like easier as everything is set up for you. Now you just
Yeah.
need to optimizing it. And yeah, very inspirational and especially when you are able to make it run and configuring Python file that able to send all the command out to the node.
Yeah.
And,
Good. Yeah.
and also teamwork as well, which we spend a lot of time, especially at night.
Yeah. And you have to do it for months here.
Mm.
Whereas like some of the I mean, that's one of the things I like about this one rather than some of the others is like it all comes together. You've got like 3 days, you've got to run it all, turn it all in. This allows it to sort of sink in a little better, maybe. I don't know. That could just be me thinking that though. So Rhythm, how about you?
So with working with WCI this term, last time I saw people working on the competition, and with the AWS they had the COVID data that they got, and seeing them working on it and now me actually working on it, it's like completely different experience. Now I get to do like actual work instead of just sitting and figuring out what they're doing. So it helped me a lot, and like as I'm working through the AWS competitions and with the AWS courses, I feel more confident, and especially Linux was very new to me. So that helped me a lot. Now I can at least go in my OS class and just work on it without a hassle.
Excellent. Good stuff. Daniel,
Hey, how's it going?
good.
All right, so kind of like Kyron, both of us got into the competition together. He told me about it. So this is my first exposure to Linux, HPC, anything of the sorts. So I think it was pretty interesting. The main things I'd say I learned are mainly problem solving skills. So getting to see how different people approach problems, the way they go about the solution, and just talking to different people and how they think is probably one of the main takeaways I could take from this. But other than that, for the most part, I think it's pretty cool. The AWS simulation was probably my favorite
Yeah.
out of all of them. Yeah. But other than that, I'm looking forward to see what we do for the last competition for PSC.
Good. Good. That should be hitting your inbox about now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier.
Noah, talk to me.
So, unfortunately, I didn't really get much out of this competition because just so much of the time, all the time that I spent was spent pretty much setting things up. And while I'm setting things up, I would always hit roadblocks. For example,
yeah.
with HPC, and where I would compile HPC and then the executable.
HPCG, you mean?
Or,
The benchmark?
not the other one.
Linpack?
HPI.
HPL. Okay.
HPL, yeah.
Yeah.
I would run I would compile the file that I was supposed to, and the executable was nowhere to be found, and the video tutorials were slideshows with someone talking instead of a video tutorial where you can go through the actual setup. So I was struggling for probably about an hour actually trying to compile HPL because you had to move the file that you're supposed to compile up a directory, and the video did not say that. So things like that just kept happening over and over again, and I wasn't able to code at all. So I was hoping this competition would more be about coding and like a computer science class.
Yeah, no, this is real world. Not everybody's a coder. There's a lot of coding competitions out there. This isn't one of them. This is systems and solving problems and stuff. But
using code to solve problems.
Yeah, but this isn't writing code. This competition is different. This is making code run as fast as possible and doing exotic codes. I mean, for instance, like the quantum stuff, you weren't coding anything. You couldn't. There are very few people that could, for example. And even the other student cluster competitions are more at getting systems and apps to run and run fast rather than actually coding them. You know what I mean? These are just a different class of competition. And yeah, it sucks if you were expecting something else. And I can imagine the frustration. Did you ask the mentors for help at all?
On Slack, I did, but I don't think they had a feature where you could share your screen, and because it was an app on the phone, and it's you type in questions and then you have answers, I believe.
Well, on Slack, I mean, you can take a screenshot and just throw it up as an image. Harder to do on your phone, but it could be done. Slack will take images because there were people doing that left and right. But it's frustrating, especially if this is your first exposure to this stuff. So absolutely. Have you ever done Linux before?
Yeah, for several years.
Oh, good. Okay, so that wasn't a problem then.
It
That's
was
good.
it was following the directions oftentimes, and oftentimes the directions would be posted on multiple platforms. For example, and the main email would show things, and then it would link to a website which would show different information
Mhm.
too, and it was
Hmm.
hard to keep up there. So
It's tough.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, none of this is easy, and um, it's the mentors are doing their best in putting this stuff together, and I mean, hell, you guys ended up with a damn good Lin pack and a good HPCG, even with all those problems. Um, but yeah, it's not it's not really coding,
well, it
unfortunately.
involves code. For
Well,
example,
yeah,
I know
but so does
MPI,
but yeah,
like
everything involves
MPI send
code
and
in
MPI
computer science.
receive,
Yeah,
or
but that's not really coding it though. It's using
uses
functions.
code,
Eh,
which that's what I meant.
okay. Well, you got some of that then. Some of it at least. Um, but yeah, when I hear coding competition, I'm thinking about, in my mind, it gets to more to running apps, altering the binaries, things like that. I mean, that's just how it hits me.
Yeah, that's not necessarily what I meant. Coding can
Yeah,
mean all sorts of different things.
it's very, very general. Yes, it could mean starting with a blank, um, completely blank slate and starting out and writing an app. Sure.
But my point was that I couldn't get to the point where you do any code or any optimization or
Hmm.
anything like that because I was too busy setting things up. That was my point.
Okay.
And I kept
And
hitting roadblocks setting things up. And yeah,
well, you couldn't have been, I mean, as a team, you couldn't have been roadblocked that much because you turned something in for everything. Um, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe it helped you learn something there. I don't know. Um,